And if I'm not mistaken, man, you also worked at the National City Bank
Oh, yeah.
during the financial crash, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, back in '08, man. Talk about that experience.
That was different too. That was different. It was good money. It was a lot of money.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to be disciplined with all that money. Like, it taught me morals and value as well. It taught you how to deal with money, how to save money, how to budget. Because you dealing with different people to account. You see them from your people. You
Yeah.
see us like you got $20 a Friday, you got
Yeah.
$100, but you see these people like you like okay, they saving, and it taught me like, hey, you got to put money up, you got to save, and that's why I learned about a savings account.
Really?
Because a lot of times, I seen my parents save, but it wasn't money like enough to survive off of. They can put up after they pay bills what they had. You know what I'm saying? So they taught me there like, hey, this is what you can have, and you would be surprised at the people that walked in. They came in and you wouldn't even know they had money.
Really?
They had on jeans from Costco and the
Yeah.
same sweater.
Yeah.
And they had money. They'd come in and get $20 a day or stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's isn't that the craziest thing though?
yeah.
It teaches you a lot about life, man. I never forget my coach from Jersey. He came here in Michigan. We were at a hotel just chopping it up, and I remember I was driving him back to the hotel, and I was like, man, like nobody would know who you are.
You're right.
And you stay completely humble. You stay completely.
Exactly.
I'm like people that has just walked that I've seen walk past you have no idea that you know what I'm saying, you are who you are. But man, I'll ask you because it seemed like there was a lot of life experience that took place at the National City Bank.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was
Talk about some of those financial, because you say when you make a lot of money, you also got to put a lot of money up, and you kind of got to money manage better. Was that something you were kind of going through at that time? Was that something you saw people going through at that time?
Yeah, at that time I was actually working 2 jobs. I was there in comfort care at night.
Really?
I wanted to be grown early, so I rushed out, had an apartment, rent started kicking my butt, and I'm like, all right. Then I had, a Hummer. So I had things I had to play. I was responsible.
Yeah.
So, I was in the mindset like I want what I want. So me doing that, and at an early age, I was working and receiving a paycheck, but my assets, I had to put out more money than I was making. Car note, rent, at a young age, but I was responsible.
Yeah.
So it taught me that, hey, you can pay that car note or it'll be gone tomorrow or you'll be gone tomorrow, but what do you have saved up? Because I was in the mindset of, hey, I'm working to, live. So I paid what I learned from my parents. Said, okay, I'm going to pay the car note, insurance, rent. Then I looked like one day the light went on like, what you putting up though? You spending for now, what you putting up for the future?
Yeah.
So it taught me, to save money and to be more responsible.
Yeah. What's some money management tips you learned during that time period? Was it a budget that you were on, that you put yourself on?
Yeah, I taught myself budgeting. So like I get a credit card and I use it just for gas. Gas or maybe the light bill, and pay it off every month. And then the limit will increase. So each time I got a paycheck and the taxes came out, I will put a certain amount up in a savings account and don't touch it. Then out of the next check, once the bills are due, I'll take whatever I had and put it in a safe deposit box. So I have money in different areas than just seeing it in the account. Because that debit card is the devil.
Yeah.
You just slide it. You can have $10,000 in there, but by the time you slide the card, you buying water, drinks, it's gone.
Yeah.
So it taught me, to build up the money. And loans, that's where I got my first loan. Or 2, I just got a private loan. So I put the money, a portion of it, like $2,500 in the account.
Yeah.
And just let it pay itself back. And then the other $25, I started investing in me. I did phlebotomy classes, CNA classes. I did a lot of other classes that enhanced me.
Yeah.
Use with the money. And when I started making money, I paid it back. So it just taught me responsibility.
Wow, man, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting, man. Talk about that. You said you got your first loan. What made you want to go ahead and go for a loan? Was that what paid for the self-development, or did you was that something you just wanted to do?
Oh, I had credit. I said, I'm all over the world. Let me go on and get this money.
Yeah.
They gave it to me. I signed for it. Like, all right. So when they gave me the loan, I said, okay. And I was responsible with it, though. But I took my first trip. I think I went to Puerto Rico.
Oh, nice.
I seen another
Start
side
living.
of the world. I ain't know no Spanish. They like polo. I'm like chicken.
Right.
We arguing back and forth. But,
yeah.
it was cool. It taught me, a lot. So I got that loan. And then once I paid it off, I was able to get more. Then $20,000. Then I'll pay off my car or my rent up for months. Then the money I get, I put up and pay back. So it just taught me responsibility and to use their money and not mine.
Yeah.
So
What was your plans during that time, if you don't mind me asking? Was it everything you saw now, or were you just
back then, I knew I wanted to do something. I didn't know what it was. I knew I had a greater purpose, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was I don't know what I wanted to do then. I was breeding dogs. I know that they were good Yorkies and Poodles. They made good money. And then no, I didn't know what I wanted to do then.
Got you. Yes.
So I got to Beaumont. I knew then. It clicked. I'm like, I know what I want to do. But then I was just like, just wasn't a job.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It sounds like a money masterclass in money during that time period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, man, if you don't mind me asking, too, as well, because I know you went to OCC, too, for business, marketing, and management, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
What talk about your experience at OCC. How did that benefit you?
I quit.
You quit?
I quit. Oh, it was cool. It was cool. I paid for the first couple of classes, and then I'm just like, it was a waste of money to me.
Yeah.
I felt like, with the loans you got to pay back, you become stuck. And I'm like, even with this degree, I know it's always good to have something to fall back on, but I took a risk of just letting it go. Say, hey, I don't need a piece of paper to tell me who I am. So, I took the little classes and I just stopped. I didn't go back. I said, school not for everybody.
Yeah.
That's when I went full force into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I just was, ever since then, I learned along the way, to pay your taxes quarterly and to put money up. I self-taught myself on how to survive.
Yeah.
Basically, it was just a survival mode then.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear a lot of mixed reviews on college now. Always either saying you don't have to go or you should go, but it seems to me, based on your experience, you had the confidence to say I can self-educate myself in what I need to know. What gave you the courage to feel that way? Were you reading books during that time period? Were you already self-educating?
I was self-educating, but also when I had to pay them, when the books due, because I couldn't get financial aid. My parents, I think I was under their income till you 26 or something with FOSFA. So by them working at the plant in GM, which wasn't a lot of money to survive on in our community, but, I didn't qualify. So I had to pay everything out of pocket.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to the big school, the women in the little short skirts.
Come on now.
I was ready, but, I couldn't, I'm like, I'm not going to pay all of that to go, didn't know what I wanted to do. So, I went there and it just wasn't for me.
Wow. Man, that's really interesting, I got to say. Even though people do feel that way about college, answer me this. If you had to go back and kind of go through that same sort of experience, okay, I'm going to go to college, I'm not going to go to college, would you still choose to say, I'm going to go, I'm not going to go?
If it was earlier, I probably would go. If I would have qualified or knew what I knew now, I probably would have went to the school of choice and did what I needed to do and then do business.
Yeah.
But I always I encourage people that want the experience to get it. Because everybody's different. A lot of people aren't entrepreneurs. A lot of people don't go to school.
Right.
I feel like having that background is always good. Yeah, if I can do it over again, I would go to school.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Very honest. Most people would say, I wouldn't.
I would go for the whole experience now. The women, the short skirt. I want all of it.
Yeah,
it's not OCC. I want the whole college campus. So.
What was your original campus you wanted to go to? Was it Michigan State?
Georgia. I think. It's
Georgia.
Yeah.
Really?
I was ready. I want to join. What they do, the clapping and the alpha. I want to do that too. So
man, that's crazy, man. But so all right. So being an employee now, from Beaumont to, you said you worked at Taco Bell, the bank, all the different jobs, man. Before you stepped out into entrepreneurship, just that time period you spent as an employee, what do you think was some of the biggest lessons you learned?
To always put people first.
Really?
It taught me now, like each one of my business, I don't argue with the client. You just figure out what can you do to help them.
Yeah.
So even like I worked at Target, whatever it is for the client, in that moment we feel like we're always right.
Yeah.
But everybody's different. That might be our mindset now, but that person might actually be right in the wrong moment. Yeah. So it just taught me to always put people first and respect people's boundaries. Because you don't know it all. You learn every day.
Facts.
Each person, from management to customers to some of my coworkers, taught me something. Yeah. And all of it is a valuable lesson that I use today.
Yeah.
And that's just people are different. Everybody's different.
Wow.